yourself? Morning, boys. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. Sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to move those trick locks in the training hall? No. She's defending this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then, how come she's not in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing over a confession, or so I've heard. Carmel, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Gaddot? Gaddot? Francisca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. The head nun's assistants, naturally. We estimate that the last lock should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we will see some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Gaddot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. What you say? I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same feeble-witted, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all of this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your call on to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. Circumstances around the murder of Miss Alicia. No, I mean Miss Misty Faye. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen? And that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor? What are you? Who? Me? My little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Well, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. Poor brother. He looked a bit pale. Not to mention said that he couldn't be here. Impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. We have the court has been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Gaddot. I understood exactly what you said. At least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Gaddot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, miracle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy one. The bit of darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So, what do you mean? Forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she's had a change of heart. Sister Iris has a good temper, has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris? Why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training in Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes. First, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dioxnum? No, I'm not, Your Honor. I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I discredited it. What? Order in the court! Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. What? Miss, court, and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Some man is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's the murder. Is that right? Mr. Wright? No! This is the confession they will come forward about. They did say this. It looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Just covering for someone? Oh, a life jacket. That was the little boy. That was run by one of the great members of the Wright tradition. One of our businesses is to protect the great family. I'm sorry, but main family? That's why I was doing myself to need to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Wright channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Wright. She's naming Maya! Order in the court! So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer? I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. My own eyes. And then I cleared up the area to try and protect her. Objection! That's ridiculous! Maya could never do. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I went to the inner temple that night, and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stubborn, Mystic Elise moved into the level of fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. So it was in self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stubborn, Mystic Elise moved into the level of fatal strike. Hold it! She moved into the level of fatal strike? Yes, I saw it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute! What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And at least the Oxum tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye? Yes, exactly. Look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? I have a problem with Iris' testimony? Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? This witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue. She threw the staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe. Objection! Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Misty Axum throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do if a staff has hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Jackson really had wanted to kill Maya Faye, she wouldn't have had need to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already! Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
Objection!
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Wright. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well. Anyway, the type of weapons he chose to use isn't what is important. The important thing is that he tried to kill Maya Faye. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. There is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright? I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. because Miss Elise Jackson would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey.
Take that!
Elise Jackson would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Dioxnum. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey?
No, not Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is he related to Misty Fey, the master of the Flying Chan technique? She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Is actually the great mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. I have no idea. Won't you believe it? The idea that she would try to kill her own daughter once she hadn't seen in 17 years? Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing.
Order in the court.
Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented. 1. That the victim supposedly threw away his son during a fight. And 2. That the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the fact being early before were taken on their own. Taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible, except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? You sure don't get it? You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness confessing this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger that the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
You mentioned it. Look closely, there appears to be blood on it.
Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Investigate the pine tree at the crime scene. Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. And the last blow was struck and it divided the between the two women. This is a ring was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blonde dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Are you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Can you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately.
Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found this very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie. Ever. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. Vincent dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was going on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise.
Objection!
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Face stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes. That's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has spread up from your testimony. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that Doctor starts to play with the human mind. Can you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogically metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useless staff that people find being mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach? There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, that's me. You're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Gaddot, explain yourself! The witness was quite ambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light? By the way, did you know? As the Corps has awarded on nights when an accolade is at the end of temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light from the training hall, but that's all. Who's the lightning? Yes! That's illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away! If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Wright? No! Order! Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe we'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern! There's something written on it! What? It's written in blood! Oh boy! The judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down! What the? Oh yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mr. Maya, Mr. Cleese didn't fall down right away. He must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her. The blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way.
Objection!
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood! Nonsense! This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle! Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think about it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scored this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Gaddot, anything further? Mr. Gaddot? Okay then, let's move on. Gaddot is literally shaking and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Misty Oxen was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Hawaiian tradition. So I moved the body to the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across the ski bridge. And I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hezekiah Temple and... to alter the way the room looked. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at Hezekiah Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that Elise Yaxam was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. Terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. mission. I removed the body from the old temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way to Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snow bridge to get back to Hescourt Temple. And... the snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the keys. I used the snowmobile to drive from Hescourt Temple to Dusky Bridge. I thought that was the person the other day. Can I ask for more details? If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks up in the snow, right? Naturally, you would expect tracks. Picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was so far when I left the Hescourt Temple. I see. Snow is still falling, huh? And then when the motor took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. Now, how about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?